What's happened? Has there been an accident?
Hippie convoy. Straight on, sir.
All right. You know, the centre's practically via Bournemouth.
We waited as long as we could. We waited till nearly 9.
Yeah, I got a phone put in the car.
Oh, I think we should do the kids' bathroom first.
I seriously thought there'd been an invasion, you know. I've never seen so many police.
Jack, a crowd of people on their way back from a pop festival is hardly an inner-city riot.
You know, you always make these hippies out to be harmless, but they're not, you know. They make a terrible mess of the countryside.
What is it?
Bloody rat's back.
Any harm.
It's unhygienic. Anyway, you can't have people jumping up and down every time the rat appears.
Jack, the only one who's jumping up and down is you.
Way of holding the reins. You've got to whip differently because you've got a 3.5 foot whip in your hands. So it's totally different, yeah. Lessons a must.
What would you actually learn in your first lesson?
Basically how to harness the horse up. Again, different saddle. There's a lot more leather. Bridle.
Ted! Ted! What's happening?
I'm securing my field, Mr. Bolt. Had some of those bastards in last year, some of them hippie lot. Made a fine old mess.
And you think fences will keep them out?
Hope for their sake they do.
Bloody hippies. We find them back here again, we'll bring in a JCB.
They're only passing through.
Long enough to ruin my fields.
All right, get the big plate, Tom.
Well, of course Ted would want to keep them out.
Get it.
You can't blame him for that.
Got it. What is it?
I suppose they're just trying to fashion a different lifestyle.
It's a piece of glass. It was stuck right between her pads.
Can I see, Hilly?
Oh, careful, don't touch.
Yeah, a lifestyle that obviously doesn't include working.
Come on, Jack. Work's just an ethic, you know that. It's a sense of duty we've been imbued with, not born with.
I don't think that's true.
You know, I think your antipathy to the travellers...
The travellers, no less.
Hippie's just a media word. It's been specifically created to provoke a reaction. For hippies, read long hair, dirt and drugs.
OK. OK. I agree. It's all prejudice. Look, I've got nothing against them personally. I just wish they'd find somewhere where they'd be happy and undisturbed and not a nuisance to everyone else.
Where? There ain't anywhere else for 'em to go.
You never catch him with traps. He's much too clever.
Yeah. Well, you just make sure the kids know that these traps are dangerous and they shouldn't play with them.
Why would they want to play with traps?
All right, all right.
And anyway, I don't know why you want to catch him. He's not doing any harm. Probably only a field rat.
Is it what? A field rat? A field rat?
Lady Pat said I was a bloody sight better.
Freddie?
That's what Lady Pat said.
OK.
Look at all those funny people with painted faces. Those must be some of the hippies.
I suppose so.
I don't exactly understand what the hippies are.
Well, there are people who think they found an alternative way of life.
Okay.
Fast asleep. What are you doing?
Okay. Now, guess the price of a 1961 Bentley S2 Continental drophead in January 72.
You know how hopeless I am at guessing prices.
2,975 uninflated pounds. 2,975.
Where on earth did you find all these?
Do you know what they cost now? 80,000 upwards. 100,000.
Yeah, don't tell me. Those were the days when you could make your own entertainment and still get change from a 10-bob note. Look! Look at your hair!
Look at this. A Bentley R-Type described as green and simply beautiful. 895 pounds.
Now look at these.
There's nothing to look at, they're just snapshots.
Jo was beautiful, wasn't she?
They're just snapshots. I didn't know I still had them.
Where was this?
I don't know, France. Somewhere.
You both look so young.
It was the end of September. 1962. Trouville. We'd only been married a year. We were skint. We couldn't find anywhere to sleep, so we broke into this beach hut.
Where was this?
Oh, that was this amazing farm right up in the hills. We slept in that barn for weeks.
You were hippies.
No. Yeah, well, we stole a few vegetables. Jo would do anything for a dare. It was great.
You know, that's the first time you've ever talked about her.
Yeah. Because that part of my life's finished.
It isn't, Jack. You can share it with me.
I don't want to share it. I want to bury it and forget it.
Look, I know it's hard for you, Jack, but it's hard for me, too. There's a whole piece of your life that you've cut out, and well, we can't talk about it. Why?
Because she's gone. And I miss her. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's right to miss her. Look, you can put her photos out if you want. It won't upset me.
No. But it would upset me.
Evening. Are you moving on then?
No. At least not as far as we know.
Oh, you are as far as we know. Hey, look here, then. Here comes Pickford's.
What is it?
Success. It's a rat trap. There's another of them. Oi! Oi! Excuse me? What do you think you're doing?
We've decided we're not going to allow you to murder another living creature. How would you like it?
Listen to me, kids. Rats are vermin. We live in the country now. You can't be romantic about rats.
Clive's not a vermin.
Clive? Who the hell called it Clive?
Look at me. I'd always thought of her as Alice.
Look, once it's got a name, we'll never be able to get rid of it.
Dad, look.
Don't change the subject.
But look.
Bloody cheek.
What are hippies, Freddie?
I told you, they're people that don't do anything. Anything proper, I mean.
I don't like them. They frighten me.
There's no need to be frightened. They won't hurt you.
Hello? Anyone home?
Yeah.
Excuse me, could I have a word, please?
Can I do anything for you?
Hi. Look, I live in the house over there. I saw you were camping. I just wondered what your plans were.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to have some breakfast.
Yeah, look, I don't want to get heavy, but this is our land, and technically speaking, you are trespassing.
Trespassing? I don't think I quite understand.
Trespassing? Well, trespassing is when you illegally enter land that doesn't belong to you.
Fine, I remember, yeah. In that case, we are not trespassing.
So what do you think you're doing? I mean, you weren't invited here.
Were you?
Sorry, I think we're getting a bit confused. I don't need an invitation. I live here.
Well, so do we, friend. For the time being.
But you've no rights. You don't own it.
Well, you do.
That's what it says on the deeds.
The deeds?
Yeah. The deeds, when you buy when you own a place, what you get.
I know what you get. You get what everybody gets, a little crazy.
Look, I don't want to argue with you.
Shame. You've got possibilities.
Listen,
How can land be private property? You can't own the land. No one can own the land. The land belongs to everybody.
that's a philosophy of convenience. I'm talking about the law of ownership.
Smoke?
No, thanks.
Look, what do you own? Do you own this field?
Do you own this field all the way down?
When you bought your land and paid them whatever they asked you for it, did you buy it all the way down? Did you buy it right down to the very centre of the earth? Well, that's what Angel wants to know.
This is like being at school.
You see, we don't believe in property. We believe we all belong to each other. That everybody belongs to everybody.
Fine. That's what you believe, and that's fine. I just don't happen to share your point of view. What I believe is that you're trespassing on someone else's land, on land that happens to belong to us. Which is why I want you to go. Now. Today. By 12 o'clock.
Sure. Where do we move to?
Somewhere else. Are they going yet?
We could get rid of them if you want.
How?
There's some boys in the village. Could be persuasive.
No, I don't want to do that.
How's Mr. Green keeping?
Well, 'tis early days, Mrs. Bolt.
He's still taking the cod liver oil?
He's been taking it religious since the day you told us, Mrs. Bolt. Well, it must be 5 or 6 weeks now. Them ganglions is gone from off of his fingers.
And no lemon at all, not even in his gin and tonic?
Keith don't drink no gin and tonic, Mrs. Bolt, do you? Beer only. And then only when he's out. Oh, and if you wouldn't mind putting your name and address on the back, Mrs. Bolt, like a dear.
No, Tom. Not unless you want to ruin all your teeth.
Excuse me. None of these seem to have the prices marked.
No, dear. We've been stock taking. I'm afraid I just haven't had the time to get round to it.
Sure. So how much for this rice?
That'll be 70 pence, dear.
And the tube of puree?
That'll be 45p.
No, I don't think so, Mrs. Green. I think you only charged me 33.
What did I, dear? Never mind, Mrs. Bolt. You can make up the difference next time.
Thanks for the lift.
Does that happen often? That sort of thing?
Well, sometimes they don't serve us at all.
What do you do then?
Ask. Well, people will usually sell you vegetables for money or barter.
What do you barter?
Depends on what people want. Sometimes they just want to talk. Sometimes they want to smoke. I was listening to what you were saying about the cod liver oil.
It works, you know. It actually works. Especially if you cut out citrus fruit as well.
I know. I remember the experiment. This guy gave himself arthritis and then doped himself stupid with cod liver oil. I used to be a doctor.
You know, Ted warned me about being soft with these people.
I wish you'd stop calling them these people, as if they were some kind of lepers.
A couple over in Kilmington. They let a family stay on their land. Took the kids in, gave them food, clothes, the whole Good Samaritan bit. This year they're back, with 6 other families. Is that what you want to happen to us?
Do you remember the Glanvilles who lived opposite us in London?
You're not trying to draw a parallel.
Do you remember them with their interminable parties and their constant top-of-the-voice slanging matches?
They were our neighbours. We had to coexist.
Shouldn't we try and coexist with everyone?
Why? These people aren't our neighbours. They're squatters. They're squatting on our land.
Oh, by the way, the kids found the rat poison.
Yeah. Well, it's just a last resort.
It's awful stuff, you know, Jack. They never die straight away. It's an agonizing death, sometimes lasts for days.
Does it? Yeah, well, I'm sorry, it's a nuisance. It's got to be got rid of.
Like the hippies.
Right, time those two came in.
But they've only been out there about 20 minutes.
I don't care. They can come and play in the garden. Now, you going to go or shall I?
I will. I was going to pick up some vegetables anyway.
I'm surprised you didn't invite him for lunch.
Well, they're a lot more fun than certain people I could mention. Thanks. Who's your fifth member?
Oh, that's Nib.
Is she all right?
Oh, yeah, she's all right. She's just got a touch of the summer flu or something. When we get to Shepton, there's a doctor there who knows her. We don't pretend to have all the answers. The thing is, every time you meet people who work in shops, offices and factories, it's like they're really unhappy. Battery chickens. They've lost touch with themselves and the land and hope.
Happy birthday, dear Hilly. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Go on. Open your presents. Look at all those cards. I wish I had as many as you on my birthday.
Let Hilly open her cards when she wants to, Tom.
Who's that one from? Blackberry.
That's not a difficult name.
I couldn't read her writing. Well, she's a better show jumper than she is a writer. Look, it's from Edith and Maud.
But you've never seen so many cards.
Which one do you like the best? I like this one. I like mine the best.
Modest little soul. I like all of them.
So much for them going to Shepton.
Open this one next.
No, that's from Harry and Dad. She can open yours next.
Well, I wanted her to open mine last.
Well, she can't.
That's not fair. It's not fair.
Tom, behave. It's not your birthday.
Thank you, Tommy.
What on earth is it?
It's a badger.
Anyone can see it's a badger. He really is lovely, Tommy. Thanks.
That's from Harry and Dad.
Wonder why they didn't go to Shepton.
I don't know.
Well, you didn't ask them. I thought you were well in with them.
Jack, not now. I hope they're the right size. Perfect. Thanks. Thanks ever so much.
When I grow up, I'm going to marry him.
He's much too old for you.
She won't be when I'm grown up.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hello. Look.
Hey, great. Very smart.
I've just been given them by Harriet and Mr. Bolt. They're riding gloves, see? Of course, I'm not going to wear them for every day.
No, they're far too good for every day.
I'm going to keep them for best.
That's right. You keep them for best for when you're competing, wherever it is. At Wembley.
I'll be at Aintree. I'm going to ride the Grand National.
You know, when I was your age, I was crazy about horses. I loved horses. I dreamed them.
That right?
Yeah.
Have you got any children?
Have I got any children? I had a child once. Yeah. A long time ago.
On English soil, I will lay my head. I will bury myself when I'm dead. On English soil, I will lay my head. I will bury myself when I'm dead. Lady, 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 lay deep and lay below. Down by the water's edge, down by the stones of old. Lady, 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 lay deep and lay below. Down by the water's edge, down by the stones of old.
What are you looking at, child?
Nothing.
You're looking at something.
No, I wasn't, honestly.
Don't.
You know, Eddie says that England is
Not
the last...
more thoughts of Chairman Eddie.
Apparently they believe that England is the last bastion of hope for world peace. He says it's because we're still in touch with our roots through the old stone circles and the sacred places.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be late.
I think I know what he means. I mean, I understand it since we've come to live down here.
Is that Tina?
No, that's not Tina. She can't babysit tonight. Come on in, Doc. Thanks.
I'm sorry, but I had to walk back from town.
Oh, that's okay. Jack's not dressed yet. I've left the telephone number up there. We're only about 2 miles down the road. Right. Why don't you go on up? Freddie's room's up the stairs, back along the corridor. Okay.
Excuse me.
A minute.
Harriet.
Yes?
No.
Jack.
Have you taken leave of your senses?
Why?
You're seriously prepared to leave Freddie in the charge of that person?
That person used to be a doctor.
So did Crippen.
Oh.
Phone Mrs. Baker.
Mrs. Baker has gone to a wedding in Bournemouth.
Well, phone anybody. I'm not going out and leaving my children in her care.
Oh, they're always your children until they need chasing after. Come on, we're going to be late.
I'm not going.
Well, I am.
It's when you're in the bath, I hope you're going to laugh. And then this guy comes in, and he's got a nose like a carrot. It's all right, I won't eat them.
Doc was telling us a really funny story.
Look, I don't know whether you know, but Freddie here,
Yeah, Harriet told me.
if there's the slightest cause for concern,
Go on. Have a nice time.
good night, kids.
Bye.
And so the witch said, that completes my shepherd's pie.
She's very
We got rid of them all in the end. It took a bit of doing, mind. Forget any protection for the wretched landlord nowadays. It's all tenant, tenant, tenant.
I mean, Tony Godston fellow. He had a chap who actually wanted to be turfed out because that way he could get a council house. Bloody daft.
We had to buy our lot out in the end, of course. It cost me the best part of, I don't know, 60, 70,000 to rehouse. But then we could get going on the cottages, Susie and her chums. And we've just sold the first unit for 180k.
The people you moved out, they were your own farm workers?
Retired farm workers, yes. Why?
Nothing, I just wondered.
Now then, how's the little girl?
Fine. Even with this high pollen count. You know, when I think what she would have been like in London.
That's the stuff. What you've got to watch out with her is this. Now, who haven't you talked to?
Lady Pat.
Hmm?
Is that your daughter? It's just that there's such a striking resemblance.
You don't say. Most people said she was the image of Richard. Yes, yes, it's my daughter.
Where is she now?
I haven't the remotest. She upped and off, what, 20 years ago. Went and lived in a commune. Don't ask me where. I was never told. Mind you, Penny'd always been a bit of a bohemian. You can tell that from the way she's dressed. And she always kept the wrong sort of company, and there was nothing we could do about it. Not a thing.
And you still don't know where she is?
She did come back once. Quite unannounced. With her biblo, the little girl in the picture. She brought her back here so that I'd look after her. A week later, she was gone. Never heard from her again, not a word. The little girl was a wild cat, quite uncontrollable. Decided she wanted to live out of doors, so I let her. Gave up. More or less turned her over to Mother Nature. And as luck would have it, she has turned out all right, Ellie. Don't you think?
Well, you sounded as though you had a better time than I did. I felt I was back in the Middle Ages.
I had a lovely time. Lady Pat never ceases to amaze me.
Do you think Hilly knows Lady Pat is her grandmother?
I don't know. She never said anything. Anyway, she was only 6 when her mother left her there. She wouldn't remember much. Do you remember anything from when you were 6?
All seems nice and quiet. just bolted it from the inside.
Well, go around front. Jack,
What?
the band's gone.
Gone? You can't have gone.
Freddie's not here.
Freddie!
Tom?
Freddie!
If anything's happened to the children...
Oh, thank God.
We're frightened.
What is it, darling?
What on earth's happened?
What are you frightened about? What's happened?
We were all having a lovely time. And then Woody came in. He was all white and shaky, and he took Doc into the corridor.
Just while we were all playing cards.
And then they both just went off.
Well, I can't believe that Doc would leave you on your own.
Why didn't you phone, Cooker? You should have phoned.
I tried, Dad, but the phone isn't working again.
Well, didn't Doc say anything?
Yes. She wasn't going to go, but Woody made her, because he said this other girl, Nib needed her. It's all my fault.
No, it isn't, sweetheart. It's mine.
No, I mean that Doc went. She wasn't going to go, Harriet, but I made her. I said that we'd lock ourselves in and then ring you, because you were only just down the road and you said you wouldn't be late.
Did they say what had happened? Do you know where they went?
Yes, to the hospital.
I don't know how long she'd been a drug addict. Eddie says she was when he first met her. And that was over 10 years ago. Doc reckoned, you know, being a doctor. Well, she reckoned Nib had been well doped up since long before that even.
Well, if she was an addict, how was it that she OD'd?
I don't know. I suppose because Doc always shot her up. Listen, it's no good looking like that. Nib was dying. She would have died at any time.
Why was she called Nib? Was she a writer or something?
No, it was a joke. Her real name was Pen. You know, Penelope.
Penelope?
I know. You should hear my real name. I'm really Shirley. Shirley, Jesus. After Shirley Bassey?
Oh, my God.
You know, that picture, it was Nib's favorite.
don't want to have to be the one to tell her.
Well, someone's got to. She knows.
Hello. Look. Get it out of the way, brute. Watch out, Ram. I was looking through Penny's old things in the cellar, and I found this. Isn't it wonderful? She used to play with it when she was a tiny child. Of course, she was never really strong enough to swing the mallet, but it didn't stop her trying, charging all over the lawn, dragging it behind her. I've not been to bed either.
Lady Pat, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Pen died a long time ago for me. I've done my grieving. What's the matter, Jack? Do you think I'm heartless?
No.
I don't believe in all that church stuff, you know? All those explanations and absolutions, but I do believe in life. Penny decided to live her life the way she wanted.
And you can just accept it.
I think she found more pleasure being with her friends than she did at home. And that's good.
But she was your daughter.
She was a free spirit, like me. Hilly's just the same. Oh, pathetic. You can love people and hope that things turn out all right for them. In the end, people make their own lives, for better or worse.
You going to tell Hilly?
No, I don't think so. Better leave things as they are, really. I can't live in the past. People of my age do all the time. We've got to exorcise our demons. Don't you think, Jack? It's not the past, it's the present that's so interesting.
She wanted me to go off with her. She asked me last night.
Doc?
She said we'd have fun and go to exciting places. She said she wanted to take me.
You wouldn't have gone, would you?
Don't be daft. What about her? And there's me animals and there's... Anyway, she probably didn't mean it, did she? She's gone now.